Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting in a Fan. Good evening to all of you in YouTube land. I hope and pray that all of you and yours are happy, healthy, safe, and well. Right now the time is approximately 11:48 p.m. Eastern Time, and the date is Monday, October 25th, 2021. The moon is waning in Cancer, and the sun is transiting in Scorpio. First of all, I want to tell you that recently I began going to my local Target, and I found this gorgeous scarf. Now, I'm not a big plaid person. Like, I have worn a few plaid things, but up until my divine consort came into my life, I did not wear plaid. But I saw this scarf, and I was like, I gotta have this. And of course, I know that one of you, specifically Susan Garrett, loves it when I wear scarves and shawls. Me too. Also, I really love the richness of the autumn colors. I was like, and it was, by the way, it was the only one, so you know it had to come home with me. So that's one thing. And secondly, I haven't done a video in a while where I do an update, because there really hasn't been much to update on. But I will say that, for those of us who are practitioners of the old ways, or as I love to call it, the art and craft of the wise, we know that there is a very special holy day approaching, and it is called Samhain, although it is more commonly known as Halloween. And one of the very first things that I learned about Samhain is that it is the witch's new year. And it's very interesting how lately I have become more focused on next year, on 2022. Goals, ideas, new beginnings, new opportunities. There's a lot of things that are up and coming for me. Nothing that I want to share, but I will say that between technically November 2021, but officially December 2021 and January 2023, there are a lot of new doors that are opening up for me. There are a lot of new ideas that are coming up for me. One thing that I recently noticed is that I am now living a life that is more secluded and less sedentary. I do a lot more walking, I do a lot more stair climbing. I need to resume using the pedal bike. The pedal bike has helped me a lot. And I've noticed that I'm remembering who I am. And it seems strange for me to say that because I've always been very clear about who I want and who I am. Let me rephrase that. I've always been very clear about who I am, and especially in the last 2 decades, there is not much that I am confused about who I am. I am a man. I am a Cuban man. I am a gay man. I am a man whose maternal grandmother's maternal grandmother was a black woman. I am more connected to my Cubanismo, my Cubanism. I am delighted that by virtue of the fact that I'm Cuban, I not only have African blood running through my Caribbean veins, but I have Taino Indian blood running through those veins as well. I mean, yes, I do have Spaniard blood. And it's very interesting because, the only deck of cards that I use that is more Spaniard than anything else is the naipes, which has to be one of my most liked, viewed, and commented of my YouTube videos. And I cannot find my naipes for the life of me. And it's interesting because my naipes is in my living room. I just don't know where they are. And I cannot find them. And I would love to use them again because I love using the naipes. Naipes for me, it's funny how there was a time when I just didn't know what they were. They weren't on my psychic radar. And then I went from having no blips on my psychic radar regarding the naipes to them screaming at me. I mean, the naipes do not speak to me. They do not whisper to me. They scream at me. Okay? They're like, hey! Vamos! Mira! Oiga, te estoy hablando, coño. Pon atención, niño, lo que sea. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they talk to me. And it is fascinating to me because, you know, naipes are very similar to regular playing cards. I cannot read regular playing cards for shit. If my life was dependent on me reading the regular playing cards, I'd be dead. I would be beyond dead. I'd be haunting somebody right now. Seriously. Because it always fascinated me, because I still remember when I used Facebook, because I no longer use Facebook, I remember I would love when my personal psychic advisor, Roger Pratt, would pull a regular playing card and interpret that card. And I found it fascinating because, number one, I cannot read playing cards for the life of me, number one. And number two, the interpretations were so deep and so resonant. And I always said to myself, well, I'm going to write down the interpretations and then I should have enough after a while. But I never did that. Because regular playing cards do not draw me as far as a divination tool. And that's because growing up, when I would use regular playing cards, I would use it to play war, or gin rummy, or go fish, and very infrequently poker and canasta. Canasta is a Spanish word for basket, and it is also an Argentine, or Argentine I think refers to the person, Argentinian refers to the culture, but I'm going to say it in Spanish to make it easier for me. Es un juego de barajas argentino. It is an Argentinian game of playing card game. And I do not remember the rules of canasta for the life of me. I remember having a therapist who was born in Argentina when I was, I think I was a teenager at the time, but, you know, like, no longer tween, no longer preteen, but definitely under the age of 16 teenager. And I will tell you that I loved playing canasta with him. I really enjoyed it. It was very fun. And it was very exciting for me, especially never having met my father and knowing that this man was a father figure for me, especially considering that he had 2 children, one of whom was a son. And I will tell you that playing canasta with him was very exciting for me. It was very fun because I really didn't know about canasta. And of course, you know, one of the things that I love about being Hispanic is that I have this thirst for learning about other Hispanic cultures. Yes, I'm Cuban, and I live in a community where there are a lot of Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Colombians, and Dominicans, but I want to learn more about Chile. I want to learn more about El Salvador. I want to learn more about Costa Rica, and my knowledge of these other Hispanic countries is very little. I think I know a lot about Mexico. I know a lot about Mexico through the food, and I love Mexican food. Mexican men taste delicious too, by the way, just in case you didn't know. Pardon me. But I will tell you that I definitely want to learn more about other Hispanic cultures. It's very important to me. Focus by Twinings is one of my favorite of their herbal teas. In fact, actually, it is my #1 favorite of their herbal teas. It enhances mental focus, it has ginseng, it has mango flavoring, it has pineapple flavoring, and of course, as many of us know, mango and pineapple are tropical fruits. Some of my favorites, actually. Although my top favorite tropical fruits are watermelon and bananas. I love bananas. But I will tell you, Hispanic culture is really important to me, and it's actually one of the reasons why I created a new Pinterest board called Hispanic Heritage. But not because of Hispanic Heritage Month, but because I really felt like it was important for me to recognize the art and the culture of all Hispanic cultures, of all Hispanic people, not just the Cuban. Of course, being Cuban, I started with Cuba, and then Puerto Rico, and then the Dominican Republic, and then Colombia. But I need to like branch out and go to Chile and Ecuador and of course Mexico, which I haven't done yet because one would think I would have already done that, but anyway. Before I conclude this video, I definitely want to have Drake, more commonly known as my awesome audiovisual person for my YouTube videos, do a gorgeous close-up of my gorgeous new scarf. I cannot wait to wear this. And if it is cool enough, I will happily wear this Saturday, October 30th, 2021, at the Notions and Potions Psychic Fair at the Elks Lodge in Beacon. I'm very looking forward to it. I really am. And I just love the light orange, I love the lavender, I love the gray, I love this whole thing. It's very interesting because, you know, I'm not a big fan of plaid things, but I saw this and I saw the fringes, and of course there was only one at my local Target. So all of that together was like, I'm buying this now, it's coming home with me. And I must say, I haven't looked at myself in the mirror yet, but I can tell this looks exquisite on me. So YouTube, as always, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. Thank you very much for all the likes, for all the comments, for all the shares, and especially shares to social media platforms that I no longer use, like Facebook, and social media platforms that I do not use for whatever reason or reasons, like Reddit. And of course, thank you for all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel. Thank you especially to those of you that have been scheduling your sessions, either for readings or goddess energy healing treatments. And thank you to those of you who have been buying me coffees. I wish all of you a beautiful night, a wonderful week, a fantastic weekend, a glorious Samhain, a blessed Halloween, and a wonderful, exquisite, prospering, healing conclusion of your October 2021. Good night, and stay tuned for the next video.